From U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, Illinois, Nesson presents Boston Red Sox baseball. Tonight, the Red Sox take on the Chicago White Sox. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. The first game of the series with the White Sox. Manny Ramirez is healthy, but not in the lineup tonight.
Well, Don, it's a shame that we're in the middle of a pennant race, but we have to open talking about the Manny Ramirez saga that continues to go on. Manny reported to the ballpark today, said that he could DH. Grady Little said, no, you're not playing. And this is basically punishment for what's going on for the last couple of days. The fact that Manny did not show up at the ballpark on Sunday, the fact that yesterday he was asked numerous times to pinch in that ball game and said he couldn't do so. Grady Little feels that if today he puts him in the starting lineup, he loses the rest of the ball club. They're all upset at the fact that Manny, the episodes of the last couple of days. So the fact is, he is not in the starting lineup today. We don't know when he's going to get back into the starting lineup. It's not a suspension, but it's almost the same thing.
Well, the Red Sox open up this two-game series with the White Sox tonight. It's John Burkett against Bartolo Colon, and it's next on Nesson. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, Illinois. The first of a brief two-game series between the Red Sox and the Chicago White Sox. Let's take a look at the visiting Boston Red Sox starting lineup brought to you by Dodge. Johnny Damon leads it off in center field. Todd Walker at second base, batting second. Omar Garcia-Parra at shortstop. David Ortiz in the cleanup spot as the DH with Kevin Millard first base. Rod Nixon in right. Bill Miller getting the start at third. Jason Varitek doing the catching, batting eighth. And Gabe Kapler in left field, bats ninth.
And the defense for the Chicago White Sox is brought to you by a Boston area Lexus dealers. They're third in the league with 78 errors on the season. It'll be Joe Creedy at third base, Jose Valentin the shortstop, Robbie Alomar at second base. You see he's won 10 Gold Gloves in his career. And Paul Konerko, the first baseman. Left to right, Carlos Lee, Carl Everett, and Maglio Adonias. Miguel Olivo doing the catching, and on the mound, Bartolo Colon. 12-11 on the season, his 29th start, a record of 4.18. He's among the league leaders in strikeouts at 153. He is currently on a two-game winning streak. He won his last two against Texas and last time against the New York Yankees. 0-1 against the Red Sox. And Don, if you recall that game against Boston, it seems like he threw an awful lot of breaking balls in that game, and obviously this guy is a power pitcher. Let's see how he approaches the Sox lineup tonight.
They didn't have the power with him last time. The crew chief, Joe Brinkman, has the plate. Mike DeMuro at first base. Darrell Cousins at second, and Andy Fletcher, the umpire, at third. Johnny Damon getting ready to step in here to begin the ball game tonight. Very cool temperatures here tonight in Chicago, as kind of a breeze blowing from left to right across the outfield to begin the evening. And the temperature is a little bit on the cool side here tonight. No humidity whatsoever in Chicago, as Johnny Damon stands in at 276, 11 homers, and 54 runs batted in. Colon gets it over for strike one to Johnny Damon to begin the ball game. Sliced foul down the left field line, back into the seats. Damon quickly down 0-2.
Red Sox have always had pretty good success against Colon. They are 4-7. I should say Colon is 4-7 in his career against Red Sox teams.
2 just missing to Damon. I mentioned that Colon has a 2-game winning streak coming in. He has 12 wins, but 11 losses on the season. 29 years of age, and this is that time to Damon to even the count now at 2-2. Johnny Damon reaching base 4 times yesterday, scoring 2 runs. 7 for 25 against Colon as he grounds one foul over by the on-deck circle.
Well, you missed the game yesterday, Don, and you missed a beauty. I'll tell you what. A marathon affair in Philadelphia, and the Red Sox, of course, battling back to win that game, and a pretty good feeling on that plane as they headed to Chicago. That was a tough ball game and a good ball game to win.
All 3 now to Damon. Kind of exemplifies really what the Red Sox have been all about in this 2003 season. Never give up, and able to really come back from any deficit at any time, and having that confidence all season long, as they did yesterday as well. 3-2 is popped up right side of the Chicago infield. Paul Konerko in the lip of the grass handles out number 1.
Well, let's check tonight's game notes brought to you by a New England Toyota dealer. The season series 2-2. All 4 games have been played right here at U.S. Cellular Field. Each team with 14 runs scored. Burkett, 62% of his strikeouts are looking. That's the highest percentage by American League starters. And the White Sox, 28-15 since the All-Star break. That's the best record in the major leagues. This is a different White Sox club than the last time we saw them down there. Offense much improved.
Where available, tonight's broadcast can be heard in Spanish by using the SAP function on your TV set.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Here's Todd Walker. For the first time tonight, Todd checks in, hitting at .274, 10 homers. He had 69 runs batted in. Over the last 13 games, Todd Walker hitting at .326. Quickly in the hole here, 0-2 against Cologne.
Here's the scouting report on Cologne. Anywhere from 92 to 98 with the fastball. He gets stronger as the game goes on. Slider, very good pitch, and also a changeup. Although that slider was the one that he threw a lot to the Red Sox the last outing, and the Red Sox did some pretty good damage against Cologne. I still think his best pitch is his fastball.
Stands at 5'11", listed at 240. As Walker strikes out on 3 pitches. First strikeout of the night for Cologne, and there's 2 down. Now the pitching coach of the Chicago White Sox, Don Cooper, talks about his pitcher, Bartolo Colon.
Fastball, curveballs, that's a slider. He can create a slider spin and a cutter as well as changeup, and you know, an outstanding fastball. When he's locating it, it's very tough, difficult for the hitters. With 3 other good pitches, like I said, curveball, he can get a slide, he can form a slider, and a little cut fastball as well as that changeup. So he certainly has all the physical.
He deals with Nomar Garciaparra here with 2 down, nobody on.
Now you heard him mention the fact when he locates the fastball, that's exactly what he did to Todd Walker. That fastball tail back to the inside corner for the strikeout.
Nomar jumps back out of the way of that pitch. Garciaparra in a 3-way tie for second in the American League in batting average at .322 to begin the night. Garrett Anderson and Derek Jeter as he lines this one foul. The league leader to begin the night is Bill Miller at .323. Then Garrett Anderson, Derek Jeter, and Nomar Garciaparra.
Nomar also leads the league in hits, 183 hits, 1 more than Ichiro.
Cologne with the 1-2. Nomar strikes out. Back-to-back games for Cologne. In order to go the Red Sox, they get nothing. White Sox coming up from Chicago. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back in Chicago as the Red Sox don't score in the top of the first. White Sox coming to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Different looking White Sox order, as we have mentioned, since the last time the Red Sox saw the White Sox, and it starts right here. Roberto Alomar leading it off here in the bottom of the first inning.
John Burkett, start number 26 on the season. 9-7, has not had a win since August 7th against Anaheim. Since that time, a couple of losses to Oakland and Seattle, and back-to-back no decisions against Seattle and Toronto, but the Red Sox did win both of those games. He beat Cologne here earlier in the season, 1-0 this year against the White Sox.
And you may remember it was a very tough start for him as he gave up 4 consecutive doubles out of the gate and then went on to retire 18 in a row after that. And it was a tough beginning, but a very nice ending for John Burkett that night. And he faces the White Sox here again tonight as he goes after his 10th win of the year. This is line towards right center field. It'll get down for a base hit. Nixon over to cut it off quickly. Alomar trying for 2, and he'll get there with a double to begin things here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the rest of the Chicago White Sox lineup, brought to you by Dodge. We've seen Alomar, Carlos Lee at second and left field, Frank Thomas the DH, Maglio Ordonez in right field, Carl Everett in center field, Paul Konerko at first base, Jose Valentin at shortstop, Joe Crede at third, and Miguel Olivo, the catcher, bats ninth for the White Sox. So the 26th double of the year for Roberto Alomar. As Carlos Lee stands in and takes ball one from John Burkett. He had 284, 27 home runs and 95 runs batted in.
Now the biggest difference, Don, in this White Sox team now than the last time we saw them, the offense, and they had really struggled early in the year. But they have too many good hitters on this team to struggle all year long. And since the All-Star break, in particular, they have really been hitting well.
Overall, and it's because of the problems you mentioned early in the season. They are 11th in the league in hitting at 262, but that has dramatically changed. And this guy has put together an amazing season for the White Sox. Last time we were here, Jerry, Paul Konerko was hitting under 200, and that was right around the halfway point of the season. He has dramatically picked it up lately.
Yeah, Thomas has been hitting a lot of home runs. He's got 38 home runs on the season, second to A-Rod in the American League. You mentioned Konerko. Konerko really has got hot, and you kind of expected him to. I mean, he's too good a hitter to continue all season long the way he did in that first half.
Alomar at second base, nobody out, and the 2-2. In the air to shallow center. Johnny Damon moves in and under, and he makes the catch for the first out.
We'll take a look at the Red Sox defense, brought to you by a Boston area Lexus dealers. Bill Miller at third base, Nomar the shortstop, Todd Walker at second, and Kevin Millar at first. Left to right, Gabe Kapler, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon. Jason Veritek doing the catching for John Burkett.
So one down, Roberto Alomar at second base. And it brings up the big hurt, Frank Thomas. The DH tonight hitting at 267. The home runs, 38 of them this season, 90 runs batted in. Frank Thomas has had 18 home runs in the second half. Major League leader in that department, second half home runs with his 18. And he's had 10 home runs over the last 13 games. He is second only to A-Rod for the Texas Rangers, who has 40 on the season. Look out when he gets hit. He grabbed him on the shoulder. Tough to tell as he makes his way down to first base, a hit batsman.
Veritek sets up inside, the fastball too far inside as he gets Frank Thomas right off the left arm. I don't know if that's the bicep, tricep, or whatever it is, but I don't think it hurt Frank very much.
They got a little bit.
He's got big biceps and big triceps.
A little bit of both, but he's got some big ones. You're right about that. 2 on, 1 away. Maglio Ordonez stands in. The White Sox cleanup hitter. Checks in hitting at 321 in the season, 25 home runs and 82 runs batted in. Well, hit safely in 8 straight games as Ordonez. 12 for 29 during that time at .414 over the last 8 games.
And there you see the numbers against John Burkett, 6 for 12. There's a couple of guys in this lineup. Frank Thomas, Ordonez, Alomar have all had good success against Burkett.
So making his 26th start of the year, 27th appearance overall. And that's in there for a strike.
Scouting report on John Burkett. Of course, the fastball will be anywhere from 83 to maybe 86. That 12-6 curveball, which he changes speeds on. More of a cut fastball than a slider for Burkett. And, of course, he has to be absolutely perfect with his location.
Spiraled off the backside, bluffing as Alomar returns to the bag.
Alomar with 6 steals since coming over to the White Sox. Been caught a couple of times.
Strike. It was actually a ball, 3-1. Brinkman usually is the late call. Looked like he went up with that right arm, but he didn't, and it's 3-1. Brinkman has the plate. The crew chief is a 4-man crew here tonight in Chicago. This is ball 4. There's the first walk of the night given up by John Burkett, and the White Sox have the bases loaded with 1 down in the inning. Give up the double to Alomar. You get Carlos Lee to fly out to center, then he hits Frank Thomas and walks Magglio Ordonez. Now he's got to deal with one of the newer members of the Chicago White Sox, Carl Everett, at 284, 25 home runs and 77 runs batted in between his work with the Texas Rangers and the second half here in Chicago. And on the hands, he fouls it off the left side.
Yeah, overall, very, very good numbers on the season for Carl Everett. You see his career with the bases loaded, 8 grand slams. A bit of a struggle recently, 6 for his last 27.
Well, the last 2 games, 0 for 7. Is popped up foul back and out of play. Jason Varitek trying to locate it. He does, and there's no chance to grab that.
A little bit tough right now, isn't it? Picking up the pop up and fly balls. You're at twilight here in Chicago, and that sky right now very, very difficult for infielders, outfielders, catchers, anything hitting the air. It'll stay like this for probably about 5 to 10 minutes, which could really be a problem.
Well, Varitek discarded the mask very quickly, then looked up, couldn't find it. Would not have had a chance anyway to get that ball as it landed about 4 rows deep. Well, the 0-2. Everett slashes out at foul back to the backstop.
Now, Red Sox still have 5 games remaining with the White Sox. The 2 here in Chicago, then a 3-game series at Fenway Park, and these are going to be very difficult games. This team now 2 games in front in the Central Division.
And 2 in a row coming into tonight's action. Very close. Everett taking it for a ball. John Burkett is going to need Joe Brinkman to give him those corners tonight if he is going to be successful. And that really has been the case all season long for John Burkett, who attempts to paint those corners. 1-2. Everett reaches out, pops it up into shallow right center, falling fast. Out goes Walker, and it'll fall. Scoring from third base is Alomar. The throw to third is in time to get Thomas. So they do get the out there, but a run is in for the White Sox, and they lead it 1-0. Almost looked like Walker was looking for Damon to catch that ball.
He was looking for help. There's no question about that. And I don't know if that's because maybe he didn't see the ball well, but you can clearly see when he's heading back for this pop-up that he looks twice toward Johnny Damon for help. There's the second look. The ball drops in. Fortunately, they do get the 1 out at third base. 1 look, 2 looks. Can't pick up the baseball. Ball drops in. A run comes home, but they do get the force out at third base. How in the heck do you score that, Don?
It's a good question. That would go 4-5, correct?
I would think so. On the fielder's choice.
On the fielder's choice. As Paul Konerko stands in. Yeah. Paul Konerko at 244, 15 homers and 57 runs batted in. And the fielder's choice, Annie gets credit for the RBI. Which scored Roberto Alomar. The White Sox with a 1-0 lead here. They had the bases loaded with 1 down so far. They've been able to get a run in. They have Ordonez at second and Everett over at first base.
Last time we were in town, Konerko was hitting below 200. Now he's at 244 with the 15 home runs.
breakdown, Jerry. First half 197, 5 home runs, 319 in the second half, and into double figures in home runs. Goes the opposite way to right. Nixon moving in, still coming in to make the running catch. So Burkett gets out of it, giving up just the 1 run. We've played one from Chicago, and the White Sox have the 1-0 lead. Back in Chicago, the White Sox on top 1-0 as we head into the top of the second inning. Red Sox win in order in the first. And it's David Ortiz, Kevin Millar, and Trot Nixon. In the inning, Ortiz in the cleanup spot again tonight. 291, 23 homers, and 80 runs batted in. To left field. Carlos Lee jogging back is under it, and he makes the catch for the first out here in the second inning.
Well, the Red Sox will team up the American Red Cross and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center to host a blood drive September 11th at Fenway Park. The drive will run from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the 406 Club. Donors will receive a Red Sox gift bag and will be entertained by Red Sox personalities while they wait. Your support can help save lives, so please join us September 11th in supporting this important effort.
Here's Kevin Millar, who gets to start at first base tonight for the Red Sox.
Well, in case you joined us late, Manny Ramirez not in the lineup tonight, although he was able to DH, is what he told Grady Little, and Grady Little said basically, no thank you. That clearly a punishment for the goings-on of the last couple of days. The fact that Manny did not report on Sunday to the ballpark. The fact that yesterday was unable to pinch hit in that ball game. And I think Grady had a long night last night thinking about how he was going to be handling this situation, because the club, the teammates, were not very pleased at all.
You know, I think as Millar lifts it in the air, right side. Second baseman Alomar calling, and the short-handed second baseman makes the catch, 2 down. You know, I think you brought up a good point in the pregame show. Oftentimes, what is a big deal to everybody else often doesn't enter the clubhouse and is that big a deal.
Yeah.
This to the players was a very big deal.
Yeah, I agree, Don. You know, I've seen an awful lot that goes on in major league teams that people don't see, don't hear about, and as long as it doesn't have an effect on the fellow teammates, then, you know, you kind of let a lot of things ride. This is not. There are a lot of guys that are very upset what has gone on in the last couple of days, and Little's only choice was to do what he did. When he's ready, he's not playing. Now the question is, how long is that going to go on? Obviously, if there was a game-winning situation that comes up tonight, would he ask Manny to pinch it? Yes, I think he would. Does that mean he will start him tomorrow? I'm not so sure about that.
He has definitely sent a message, though, to the rest of the team. With Manny not starting here tonight, Ramirez did say he could DH, but as you mentioned, Grady Little opted not to use him here tonight.
I had about 10 minutes alone with him this afternoon early, and you know, he was explaining about that ball game yesterday, how these guys battled and battled and battled, and Johnny Damon playing hurt. And some of the comments the players made after the game didn't name anybody particular, but everybody knew what they were talking about. He said, how in the world can I put this guy in the lineup today and have no respect from anybody in that clubhouse? Now, is it a better lineup with Manny in? Of course it's a better lineup with Manny in there. But sometimes you have to send the message, and that's the message that he's decided to send to this rest of the 24 guys in this ball game tonight.
1-2 to Nixon. They'll miss, and it's 2-2. Are you surprised with the way he did it in saying that he does not have his he wants to have his best team out there to win? I mean, he hit 455, as you mentioned, against Cologne.
Read between the lines. He obviously, you know, you don't have your best team out there when Manny's not in there. I mean, that's just common sense. But by saying his best team, what he meant to say is the guys that want to play. Right. And that's exactly what he was saying to the media today in the best way that he possibly could.
And you really have to feel for Grady in this situation also. Of course, right now, he's just got enough to worry about with victories and trying to win here down the stretch run, playing some very good teams here on the road in what is an extremely important road trip.
Well, I find it pretty sad that we are in the month of September. We have a team that has been fun to watch all season long, that has a chance to go to postseason play, and we have to be dealing with this kind of a thing. It just doesn't make much sense to me. That's the way it is. in the nation at times. That's the way it is right now.
A full count here to Nixon. 2 down in the top half of the second inning. The White Sox on top 1-0. Nixon lifts it in the air deep and far to center field. Everett headed back to the track of the wall. It's gone. The hero of yesterday's game with the grand slam, and Trot Nixon here with a solo home run to tie the game at 1.
Trot Nixon has certainly rose to the occasion the last couple of games. Bartolo Colon, that fastball tailing away from Nixon, still able to pull the ball towards center field and pick up the home run to tie this ball game up. But Nixon, his home run is his 26th of the season, and for Colon, that's the 23rd home run that he has allowed.
Pretty high total.
Yeah, that is. For a guy that throws as well as Colon, that's a very high total.
Nixon with home runs and consecutive at-bats. Of course, the grand slam yesterday. And the solo home run here today, the first hit of the night for the Red Sox. As Bill Miller cranks it foul on the ground outside of first.
Now, Don, there was a release sent out by Theo Epstein that he mentioned the fact that I think you have it right there anyway, that kind of backs the manager on this, which you need. When you make a move like this, you need the backing of the front office, and apparently he certainly got that.
As the front office, we fully support Grady's decision not to put Manny in the starting lineup tonight. He's going with a lineup that gives us the best chance to win as a team. And tonight that does not include Manny, despite his availability to DH.
Now, the other thing that was discussed was suspension. And that's a tough sell, obviously, because you start dealing with the Players Association, a number of different things, and quite honestly, it's one that Manny probably would win.
Right.
I mean, Manny was sick.
And he's sick, and that's what they would say.
Yeah.
And you can't win.
Exactly. So, you know, that's an area that I'm sure was discussed, but obviously they did not take that route, and I think that's a smart thing to do because you wouldn't win that battle.
Well, there were reports today throughout the day from a number of different media outlets that he had been suspended, and that is not the case. And the Red Sox want to clear that up as well. Theo also saying today, contrary to some reports, Manny has not been suspended. He's not in the lineup tonight, and we all support Grady's decision. 2-2, fouled back and out of play. Now the question is, how long does he sit, Jerry? I mean, is this a situation you wait till New York, or?
It's quite possible. I really don't know, Don. You know, I kind of hope he gets in the lineup tonight in a key situation and gets a hit. I really do. How long he's not in the starting lineup? It's kind of like a college player or something who messes up in class and the coach doesn't play him for the first half and then puts him in the second half. You know, I don't know. My guess is maybe not in this series, but I really don't know.
Miller sends it towards right center field. Everett on the run, moving over. He dives and makes a great catch. Carl Everett had a long way to go, and he makes the catch in right center field to rob Miller of a hit. Red Sox get a run and tied the score at 1. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back in Chicago. The Red Sox and White Sox tied 1-1, and Carl Everett with a very nice running catch to rob Bill Miller of a hit and to end the inning. Valentine to lead it off this inning.
Carl Everett covering an awful lot of ground out there in center field. Goes into the dive and takes extra bases away from Bill Miller. We noticed down in Texas, Don, earlier in the season, as Burkett has now hit his second batter of the game, Jose Valentine, that Carl Everett moving much better this season than we have seen in the last couple of years. Apparently healthy this year, which he's had some physical problems over the last couple of seasons, and being healthy, he has much better results.
Well, his knee was really never the same after that injury in Tampa Bay as a member of the Red Sox, and that included his time in Texas, the beginning portions of his career with the Rangers. But this year, the defense is back, and the wheels are working for Carl Everett. Here's Joe Creedy getting the start at third base for the White Sox tonight, batting with Valentine at first, and nobody out in the inning. Burkett starts off ahead. Greedy at 257, 18 homers and 62 runs batted in. He has 6 home runs in his last 11 games. And over the last 11 games, hitting at .341. As part of this red-hot White Sox batting order lately. This team was really hit very well in the second half, and so is Joe Creedy. Burkett checks on Valentin at first base. Tampa Bay on top of Seattle tonight. 1-0 is there in the 5th inning in Tampa Bay. And that is Joel Pinheiro going tonight for the Mariners against Victor Zambrano for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Keeping a close eye on that action, but again Tampa Bay on top of Seattle 1-0.
Yankees are off today, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, series up in Toronto. They played yesterday, but they have an off day today.
Roy Halladay beat them yesterday. In the air to center field. Shallow. Damon started back, but now comes in. And the sky a little bit easier, but still a tough sky, and there's 1 down. Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you by New England Toyota dealers, by Bob Stores, by Coors Light, and by Volvo, the official vehicle of the Red Sox. So 1 down in the inning, and it brings up Miguel Olivo, the White Sox catcher. 231, 6 homers and 22 runs batted in.
Valentin at first base. He has 5 steals. He's been caught 3 times this season.
Back that time as Burkett checks on him again.
Combination where they could use the hit and run here with Olivo at the plate. He does not walk very much. He's pretty much a free swinger. And a lot of times managers like to put on a hit and run play with those type of guys. They can swing at almost anything and still make contact.
Burkett looking for something to work on the bottom of his cleats, it appears. He looked into the Red Sox dugout for some assistance. Apparently he's got some mud that is mounted up underneath those cleats, and we'll get him those tongue depressors there to go to work on the bottom of those shoes. Mention the fact that this is a very important road trip for the Red Sox. We take a look at where they stand right now in the American League East. 4.5 games back of the Yankees, who did win yesterday, or actually I should say did lose yesterday 8-1 to the Toronto Blue Jays and Roy Halladay. And then in the wild card scenario, the Mariners with the 1-game lead over the Red Sox. Again, Seattle playing Tampa Bay tonight and trailing 1-0 at this junction. And the Chicago White Sox have changed some things around since the last time the Red Sox were here. They now enjoy the 2-game lead over the Kansas City Royals and the Minnesota Twins in the AL Central. Burkett has cleared out the bottom of his cleats, now ready to work to Olivo, and he gets a strike in there. Olivo has hit in 5 of the last 8 games, going 7 for 27 at .259. Certainly known more for his defense than his offense. This one back towards the mound. Burkett has it, and he throws out Olivo. Up to second base goes Valentin, with now 2 outs in the inning.
Well, Chicago's pretty excited. I mean, they got the Cubs playing pretty good baseball up on the north side, and you got the White Sox here on the south side leading their division. Crowds have been better here at U.S. Cellular Field. Was the host of the All-Star game this year. They've made many improvements to this ballpark over the last year. Seems to be a bit more appealing to come here. Not only the ballpark, but also the fact the team's playing pretty good baseball. That is a different area out there. So many years they had trouble with the hitter's background. They have finally made some adjustments out there. It's much, much better. And they get some standing room tickets up just underneath the scoreboard. Have a nice idea.
Very well populated area out there tonight. A beautiful night for baseball tonight in Chicago. Game 1 of this brief 2-game series. At the top of the White Sox order, and Roberto Alomar. He doubled his first time up and came around to score the White Sox only run so far tonight. Alomar, of course, coming over from the Mets, which was a very difficult place to play. This is down the left field line and a foul ball. Not fair, but just kept bending away. Look at the active career leaders in the major leagues. Ricky Henderson, of course, back in the major leagues, and on top of that list, Rafael Palmeiro and then Roberto Alomar, 2,665.
And reunited here with his brother Sandy Alomar.
The Sox were very active around the trade deadline time as they picked up Alomar. They get Carl Everett. And I think that seemed to give the fans a lot to look forward to here, realizing that the organization was certainly heading in the right direction. Remember a few years ago when the White Sox were in the mix and all of a sudden traded off some pretty key parts, giving the indication that they did not think they were in the mix, and they certainly are here at this stage of the season on top of the AL Central.
Burkett not happy with that last call as we look at Jerry Manuel, the manager here for the White Sox. That's a pitch, that last one, Burkett has to have to be effective.
A lot of people surprised that Jerry Manuel made it out of the first part of the season with the way the White Sox started. And now things looking very, very good for the White Sox. Swing and a miss. Alomar strikes out. John Burkett's first strikeout ends the second inning. We played 2 from Chicago, tied at 1. That's not an eclipse, right, Jerry?
No, but what's some beautiful property up there. Can we get another shot of that? I'd like to buy a piece of land right here. This spot right here. Look how wide open that is.
You'd like to move there?
Nobody would bother me there, Don.
Jason Varitek leads it off. He waves at that pitch.
Most people want to retire in Florida or Arizona or California. I want to go to the moon.
You want to move to the moon?
There's nobody there. I'm convinced of that.
You bring your chair with you to the moon?
Absolutely.
Varitek grounds it foul over by the Red Sox dugout. 0-2 to Varitek, 5 for 17 against Bartolo Colon in his career. And that includes a home run. Colon has given up just 1 hit through the first 2 innings. That was a home run by Nixon. Outside corner, strike 3. Jason Varitek with some words for Joe Brinkman as he takes with him the 3rd strikeout of the night for Colon.
Well, the words might be, look, if you're going to give Colon this pitch, then I've got to have the same pitch for John Burkett. Remember last inning there was one out there that Burkett did not get the call on. Now the same pitch, and Varitek is called out. Please give me the same pitch for Burkett. Joe Brinkman, see him nod his head. Okay, I will.
There's Gabe Kapler getting the start in left field tonight for the Red Sox. Kapler had 292, 2 homers, and 15 runs batted in. Jolts it into center field. Carl Everett going full bore back and to make the catch. Running onto the warning track to take that one in for out number 2.
Well, each time the Red Sox catch a run of stealing on Nesson this season, you can enter to win a LoJack stolen vehicle recovery system for your car or truck at boston.com/Nesson. Simply enter the date, opponent, and run of the Red Sox caught stealing at boston.com/Nesson, and you'll be entered into the LoJack caught stealing sweepstakes.
Two down. Here's Johnny Damon as the Red Sox go second time through here against Bartolo Colon. Damon popped out to the first baseman his first time up. Near the lip of the grass at third is Joe Creedy. This one is popped up foul. Levo going down the line, and he makes the catch in the fungo circle for the final out. In order to go the Red Sox in the top of the third. We've played 2.5, tied at 1. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy along with Tom Caron in Chicago as the White Sox and Red Sox are tied 1-1 into the bottom of the third inning. And Carlos Lee leading it off, the White Sox left fielder. He flied out to center field his first time up. Burkett missing away that time, and it's 2-1 now to Carlos Lee. Red Sox and White Sox have played 4 games so far, each team winning 2 into tonight's action. I mentioned the White Sox will be coming to Fenway Park. Red Sox coming here twice this season to take on the Chicago White Sox. Down the right field line, bending towards the line, and it'll be a fair ball down into the corner. Nixon digging it out, but not before Carlos Lee stands at second base with a leadoff double.
Pretty good hitting by Carlos Lee. You know, you have a guy out there in John Burkett who's not a hot thrower, tries to change speeds, and Carlos Lee going the opposite field. Look how far outside Jason Varitek is set, and Lee not trying to pull the ball, just goes the other way, finds fair territory down in the corner. It does stay in play. Oh, did it stay in play? That ball bounced out of play, didn't it?
Looked like it might have. Tough to tell. I don't think we see it again, but here is Frank Thomas.
I don't believe the umpire called it a ground rule double.
No. Thomas against John Burkett, 8 for 19 at 421.
8 home runs in the last 10 games for Frank Thomas.
No swing and a miss there. Fooled on that pitch. Burkett here to take something off.
And that's the one John Burkett will consistently go to when he's in a bit of trouble, like curveball and change speeds on it.
This time the Red Sox were here, Frank Thomas was playing a little bit more regularly at first base. Tonight being used as a DH. Aimed by Varitek, not getting the call from Joe Brinkman.
Now Burkett looking in at Joe Brinkman. Now that seems to be the type of pitch that Varitek was called out on. Grady Little at top step. He may be having something to say to Joe Brinkman. Joe's been around a long time.
A big one for Frank Thomas, who was swinging for the fences there. Joe Brinkman, one of the guys that ejected Jerry Remy at some point during his career.
No, I don't think Joe ever did get me. No. Joe and I had a wonderful relationship. Still do.
Burkett's payoff pitch. It was fouled off the right side. On the move is Millar, but they run out of real estate back into the seats.
One thing you might notice with Joe Brinkman, he sets up as far back as you'll see any umpire from the catcher. And this is actually closer. He went through a stretch for a couple of years where he was setting up back in this area here. Now he's moved up a little bit, but he's still quite a distance from Jason Varitek. He'll go down on that one knee, but that's quite a ways from home plate.
Lifts it in the air to right center field. Johnny Damon's over. Nixon moving over as well. It'll be Nixon's ball, and he makes the catch. Holding at second base is Carlos Lee, and the throw gets away back into the infield. No further advance for Lee. Boston Red Sox baseball on Nesson is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury, by LoJack, by Aflac, by Citizens Bank, and by Jeep. So Frank Thomas flying out to right field for the inning's first out. Throw was a little wild getting back in, but no advance. Carlos Lee stands at second base, and here's Maglio Ordonez, who walked his first time up, the only walk so far given up by John Burkett tonight. Popped up, foul off third. Bill Miller heading over towards the White Sox dugout, but it's backing out of play.
That's about the area you were sitting yesterday at Wrigley Field to watch the Cubs and the Cardinals play, huh?
It was outstanding once the rain stopped. It was 3 hours worth of rain delay, actually 3 hours plus.
I've never been to Wrigley Field, but you say it's just a beautiful place to go see a game.
Outstanding. First time I've ever been there. And the Cubs and Cardinals met in the first game of that series, and it reminds you a lot of Fenway Park. It really does. A lot of similarities there, and certainly the crowd very much into it, like Red Sox fans are used to at Fenway Park. They had a day-night doubleheader there today. I think the first game may have gone 15 innings to get their day off.
Oh, beautiful.
On a tough start.
Kind of have those cycles, don't you? You have the rain delay yesterday over there for about 4 hours, so that thing gets started late. You go 15 innings in the first game of a day-nighter.
Seem to have those stretches. But with the rain delay, at least I got to watch you guys, because I could see the game from there, and then your game ended, and then I had a chance to watch the game that I was at. So.
I'd be willing to guess that while you were watching us, you did see a couple of walks.
Yes.
Yeah, because there were a lot of walks.
There were a lot of walks. Some lead changes. It looked like you were there for a good amount of time also, but a good result.
Don, it was a full day, as we like to call it in business. Burkett and Veritek having a tough time getting on the same page with this 0-2 count to Ordonez. Tough lineup. This is a very, very good lineup, and it was amazing that these guys were not scoring runs early in the season. There's just too good a hitters on this club. And right now they are hitting.
And they were collectively slumping, as you mentioned, the first time we were here. Very tough to figure out. It wasn't just one or two guys. It was pretty much this power lineup top to bottom that was not hitting. They're hitting now. This one's in the dirt. Veritek can't locate it right away. No advance for Carlos Lee.
Now you give Joe Brinkman a save on that one, because that ball got through the legs of Veritek, and it hit Joe Brinkman, and that's what kept the runner at second base. See, right there off Joe Brinkman, he starts limping around. Still very light in his feet, Joe, behind home plate. But actually, that did save Lee from going to third base.
We're doing the long pause, now ready with the 1-2. Popped up left side. Omar Garcia-Parra equidistant between second and third. Makes the catch for out number 2. Let's check in with Tom Caron. Tom?
Thank you. We've got some Red Sox fans here in Chicago. These are 4 guys who actually met in Chicago. You're all from different places, but you're all Red Sox fans there.
Brockton, Albany, Duxbury, and North Carolina. We all met our first day of work in 1995. We scattered from there.
Now, Vito, from Albany, New York, you actually were a clubhouse guy and a bat boy for the Albany Yankees, but you were a Red Sox fan.
That's right. In 1988 and 1989, I was clubhouse manager for the AA affiliate of the New York Yankees, which was in Albany, and I had the job for about a year before I was fired by one Buck Showalter.
So Buck Showalter, you had a message you want to say for Jerry Remy.
Buenas noches, Senor Remy.
Needs a little work, but
Boston accent. That'll kill it.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. He doesn't seem to have the same dialect that you do when you read the...
That was very good. You just got to do it a little faster.
He didn't have the disfruit and everything else that you mix in. It's an unfortunate story that he was fired by Buck Showalter.
And he has never forgotten that, has he?
He's still a little bitter about it, I think.
Made him a Red Sox fan.
Actually did games there at AA. It was in the Eastern League for a long time.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So Andy Pettit pitched there. Derek Jeter went through Albany.
Did you get a hat or cap from there?
No. What to put in front of my desk? Is that where it's going? The 2-0 to Everett is fouled back to the backstop, and it's now 2-1.
Actually, a big play back in the first inning. Everett, with the bases loaded, hit that pop-up. It did drop in, but the Red Sox get an out of it. And that could have been a very big inning for Chicago to start this ball game. Instead, they just got the 1 run.
In scoring position at second base with 2 down. Burkett trying to battle his way out of the inning. Missing up top, a little bit inside that time to Everett. This July 1st, coming over from the Texas Rangers, hitting at .298, 7 homers, and 27 runs batted in for Everett. It was part of a pretty good offensive attack down there in Texas prior to coming here to Chicago. Foul back above us. Everett had 18 home runs with the Texas Rangers before coming here to Chicago. Now has a total of 25 on the season. Layoff pitch, golf foul again, up off the left side.
Well, that was almost up in the area where Tom Caron is. TC almost got himself a souvenir. What I like about TC is he just stays there and he talks to his guests. It's not like, you know, okay, you're on, and then he blows them off. I mean, he spends some time with them explaining how he would have dove for that.
They're saying he's not a fraud. He's not the guy just doing it like he cares for the moment, and then afterwards he can care less about them and their story and who they are.
He cares about his guests. Especially the poor guy that got fired.
Yeah. And the payoff pitch, Everett swings and misses. Briefly gets away from Varitek, so he's got to throw him out. He does so successfully to end the inning. Second strikeout for John Burkett as the White Sox strand a man. We're tied at 1. Back in Chicago at the end of 3, tied at 1 as we head to the top half of the 4th inning. And the 4th inning is brought to you by KFC's new $4 meals. Real meals, real value. Todd Walker to lead it off for the Red Sox here in the top of the 4th inning. Walker was a strikeout victim in the first, one of 3 strikeouts tonight for Bartolo Colon. Colon has given up just 1 hit through the first 3 innings. That was the home run by Nixon. He was lifted in the air a mile high, but not deep into shallow right for Roberto Alomar. And he makes the catch when it finally comes down for out number 1. Well, it's time now for the Aflac trivia question. And our question tonight, who are the only 2 players to hit 7 grand slams for the Red Sox since 1988? And the answer for you in the next half inning.
I think I know one of those, Don. But I can't say I know both of them.
Well, the answers for you in the next inning. Here's Garcia Parra, who also struck out in the first inning. Colon was able to strike out back-to-back Red Sox hitters in the first. Sounds like a broken bat grounder to Valentin at short, who throws out Garcia Parra, and there's quickly 2 down.
We mentioned how Colon is the type of pitcher that can get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. He does have 5 complete games on the season. Very, very strong, you know. I mean, he's not poster child for a health club, obviously. He does look like he's trimmed down, though, since the last time that we did see him here in Chicago. But very strong lower body, and that's where he gets a lot of his power from, especially that velocity on the fastball.
Often much is made of his weight. and it seems to fluctuate at times, but it does look like he's a little slimmer.
Well, he's either gotten a little slimmer since the last time, or he's got a bigger uniform,
which can hide it.
Last time we saw him, he really looked heavy.
He's thrown 47 pitches here tonight so far through 3 2/3 innings, and again he's only given up 1 hit as he deals with David Ortiz. Carves one foul back to the backstop, evens the count at 1-1.
And I have noticed that early in this ball game he's thrown many more fastballs than he did in that last outing against the Red Sox. Almost like he was doing him a favor last time with a lot of breaking pitches.
I wonder why he did that. Maybe just not able to locate that fastball.
I don't know, maybe he just didn't feel good coming out of the bullpen that day with his fastball and decided to go with a lot of breaking balls that day.
Pitching coach Don Cooper, who we heard from earlier, fouled off the left side. It's 1-2 now to Ortiz. Last year, Bartolo Colon, a 20-game winner as he won 10 games for the Cleveland Indians, and of course wrapping up the season as a member of the Montreal Expos. 10-4 in Cleveland, the identical record in Montreal, 10-4. And of course, a lot of talk about him during the offseason, perhaps the Red Sox trading for him. It was the first time in his career that he was a 20-game winner. Flirted with the 20 games in '99 when he won 18 for the Cleveland Indians that year, going 18-5. And in double figures in wins in 5 major league seasons. On the ground left side, a lot of English on it. Creedy cuts it off and gets it there in time to retire Ortiz. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox. In fact, it's 7 in a row. Retired by Colon. They're tied at 1. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back in Chicago. Red Sox and White Sox tied 1-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. John Burkett has given up so far 2 hits here tonight to the White Sox and a run. The run came back in the first inning. Roberto Alomar scoring the White Sox run. Paul Konerko lead it off here in the bottom of the 4th and lined out to right field his first time up. Red Sox have won 7 of their last 8 games at home and 10 of their last 12. This is hit high and deep to left field. Kapler going back, and he will make the catch in front of the wall. Hit a long way to left. And it seemed to die out there, and Kapler making the catch right in front of the wall for out number 1.
I think even John Burkett looked a bit surprised that that ball stayed in the ballpark. When this left the bat from Konerko, it looked like it had enough legs to get out of here. It was toward the end of the bat. Kapler does a nice job spinning around at the last moment to make the catch right in front of the wall. It sounded good, Don, leaving the bat, and it looked like it had enough, but not quite.
That ball just seemed to die out there in left field. There's a very light breeze blowing from left to right. I don't think it was enough to knock it down, but
light breeze blowing off the lake.
There's Valentin, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. This is a very light lake breeze.
It's an easterly breeze, Don, that comes off the lake.
Inside that time, and it's now 3-1. Where are we in conjunction to the old Comiskey Park?
Right across the street. As we come in, you know, the entrance we come in, if you look to your right, that's the old Comiskey. That's it now is a parking lot.
So that's where it was, right there. Wow.
Oh, I got no.
Foul back above us and a full count.
The old Comiskey Park home plate was facing downtown Chicago. Home plate here is the opposite way. It is facing out toward Indiana.
It was a nice ballpark. I've been there one time, an old ballpark. Did you have much success there? No. I can tell already you didn't like it. Swing and a miss. Valentin strikes out. Third strikeout for John Burkett. Boston Boston Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by KFC and the new everyday $4 meals. Great meals, great prices at KFC. It's an everyday deal. Del, you were not enamored with Comiskey Park.
No, actually, I didn't mind it at all. It was, I'll tell you, the fans were great at the old ballpark. But they desperately needed something new. There's no question about that.
2 down, Joe Creedy flied out to center field his first time up. And that slow breaking ball missing inside. 2-0. The Sox outfield set up straight away. The deepest is Nixon in right field. Burkett falling behind here. 3-0. John has walked only one so far tonight. That was Maglio Ordonez back in the first inning.
To be careful here because Creedy, the number 8 hitter, has home run power. He may have the green light. 3-0. You got a Levo on deck. Yeah, taken all the way. Like I said, Don, he'll be taking all the way on the 3-0 count. I don't understand that, you know. I mean, you got a number 9 guy coming up that's not a very good hitter. You got a guy that's got 18 home runs. Let him swing away 3-0.
Swings at the 3-1, lifts it to shallow left field. Kapler moving in. And Gabe makes the catch for the final out of the 4th inning. The 4th inning is brought to you by KFC's new $4 meals. Real meals, real value. He played 4, still tied at 1. Back at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, tied at 1 as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. Kevin Millar, Trot Nixon, and Bill Miller to face Bartolo Colon, who's still just giving up the 1 hit. A home run by Nixon, a solo shot in the 2nd inning. Nixon will bat 2nd in the inning, and the home run back in the 2nd inning was his 26th round tripper of the year. And of course, a grand slam yesterday, a solo home run here tonight. Two and 1 now to Kevin Millar. Millar popped out to the second baseman his first time up.
You would think, Don, the way the outfield defense is set up, they're going to stay away from Millar. They have Everett shading him slightly toward the opposite field. Big gap out here in left center field for Millar.
For a strike, and it's a full count. All right, the bases loaded walk in the 9th inning tied the game at 9 and helped set the stage for Trot Nixon's game-winning grand slam 2 pitches later yesterday. He takes the walk, close pitch. The Red Sox have their first base runner since the 2nd inning. First walk given up by Colon. Let's take a look at the game summary in this one so far. Burkett 4 innings giving up 1 run on just 2 hits. Colon 4 innings giving up 1 run on 1 hit. He's walked 1 most recently and has struck out 3. Trot Nixon with his 26th home run. Roberto Alomar with a double and a run, and Everett getting an RBI on a fielder's choice. They're tied at 1 here in the top half of the 5th inning. Here is Trot Nixon, who homered in the 2nd inning. And towards right center field to give the Red Sox their lone run. Three of the 5 hits that Trot Nixon has off Bartolo Colon are home runs. On the ground to first, nicely speared by Konerko, fires on to second base for the double play. Right around the bag at first, gave him the opportunity to tag that first and then attempt to get Millar, which he did, and there's 2 down.
Well, we mentioned this has been a very good defensive team this year, the White Sox, 3rd in the league in defense.
Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back in Chicago, where the Red Sox have a 2-1 lead over the White Sox. It's a little big for the youngster enjoying himself here tonight. As the Red Sox have a 2-1 lead over the White Sox. Garciaparra to lead it off here in the 7th inning. Nice job by John Burkett to get out of the jam once again. As the White Sox had 2 on with 2 outs, and Valentin fouled out to Bill Miller. Omar lines this, a foul ball down the left field line. Omar is 0 for 2 so far tonight, striking out in the first, grounding out to shortstop in the 4th. And it's kind of been a strange night for Bartolo Colon. He's given up just the 2 hits, but they've both been solo home runs. And his club has not come up with much offensively so far, held to just the 1 run, and he finds himself down 2-1. Really no fault of his own. He's pitched very well here tonight.
Oh, he's pitched a terrific game here today, much better than the last time we saw him. He threw that hanging breaking ball to Kapler. Kapler jumped on it for the home run, and then a fastball to Nixon for the home run. But no, he's had very good stuff in this game. Seems more under control than the last time we saw him.
He has struck out 3 tonight, walked just 1. Red Sox with only 3 base runners all night, the 2 home runs and the walk. That's been it. Colon has thrown 81 pitches in his outing. As he works here to the first batter in the top half of the 7th inning. Fouled off, and a full count now to Garciaparra. Playing Omar to go the other way as he moved Carl Everett into right center field. Big gap out there in left center. Popped up into shallow center field. Out goes the second baseman Alomar calling. Everett coming from behind him, but Alomar makes the catch for out number 1.
Well, enjoy the Cape Cod Baseball League, providing wholesome family entertainment while developing the players of tomorrow, supported in part by Keyspan. Keyspan, the energy to think ahead. So 1 away here in the top half of the 7th inning, and David Ortiz makes his way to the plate. Ortiz is 0 for 2 so far tonight. We mentioned earlier how Bartolo Colon seems to get stronger at times as the game goes on. That last fastball at 97 miles an hour from Colon.
Why do you think that is? Just takes him a long time to get loose, or he saves it?
No, I think some guys save it. You know, when they need a little extra giddy up at the end. This guy's very strong. I mean, there's no question about that.
One fouled off, and Ortiz in the hole, nothing in 2. One off the backside of the mound with 1 down.
It's all part of maturing as a young pitcher. Well, you know, when you first come to the big leagues, if you've got a good arm like Colon, you try to throw every pitch at 97, 98. As you get more experience, you realize you don't have to do that on every single fastball. And you leave a little bit in the tank for late in the game.
This is inside that time, 1-2. Ortiz fouls it off the left side. It's still 1-2. Seems like Colon's been around for a very long time, but first year in the big leagues was 1997. Coming up with the Cleveland Indians, member of the Indians from 97, of course, until last year when he went to Montreal. Made 17 starts for the Expos. We mentioned a 20-game winner last year, overall 20-8. Again on the gun, and it evens up at 2-2 to David Ortiz.
Quite a difference when he tries to turn the fastball over, which he's done a couple of times in this at bat. It's 91, and that's the cross seamer there at 97.
something off, and Ortiz lifts it down the line and left over is Carlos Lee, and he makes the catch in foul ground down there in the left field corner for out number 2.
Well, the big help, the biggest job section of the season is coming, and it's huge. You pick up your copy of this Sunday's Boston Globe. Don't miss the Big Help Job Fair at Fenway Park on Wednesday, September 10th. For details, visit bostonworks.com/big help. I may check that out, Don, because in a month I'm going to be needing a job. This will be over for this year.
Looking for a job? I think you're pretty secure.
Yeah, that or collect unemployment, one of the two. I'd rather look for a job.
2 down for Kevin Millar. Popped out to second base in the second. He walked in the 5th inning tonight. The only walk given up by Bartolo Colon in the game.
And I don't mean the Red Sox season will be over in a month. Will be done in a month because we don't do postseason play. If they get into the postseason, that's all the big network stuff. And it's not quite as big as NESN, obviously, networks. It's not as, but they get them because they have the rights. NESN, of course, goes worldwide. It's everywhere.
Right, I'm told I think we're in Korea, right?
We're in Korea tonight. This game is going to Korea. The little New England sports networks come a long way, Don.
It's now worldwide. The 1-1 to Millar. Grounded back towards the mound. Nice play by Colon to Sterrett. Throws out Millar. And the Red Sox go 1-2-3. 7th inning stretch time from Chicago. 2-1 Red Sox. Back at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. The Red Sox on top 2-1 heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. John Burkett's night is over after 6 innings. He turns things over to Brandon Lyon.
Lyon making his 43rd appearance for the Red Sox. The record of 4-5 and his first since back on July 20th against Toronto when he went 2 innings in that game.
He's placed on the disabled list by the Pirates with soreness on July 25th. And of course required by the Red Sox the trade deadline July 31st as part of the Jeff Suppan trade.
Kind of a strange season for Brandon Lyon, involved in the trade, sent back by the Pirates. Rehab assignment, minor leagues, and now back to the big leagues.
With 5 rehab appearances with the Pawtucket Red Sox. And no record, a 3.24 earned run average. And Joe Creedy promptly sends one towards the gap in left center field. That'll go back to the wall. Damon digging it out. But standing at second base with a leadoff double is Joe Creedy.
Now Joe Creedy not wasting any time. He jumps on the first pitch from Brandon Lyon. Gets the fastball and finds that gap in left center field for the leadoff double here in the bottom of the 7th. We mentioned the Timlin maybe not available in this game tonight. And a number of pitches worked yesterday. Embry worked in the ball game yesterday. He said he might want to stay away from him also tonight.
Red Sox have right-handed action already up in the bullpen.
Looks like Williamson from here, Don. Tough to tell, though. He hasn't pitched since Sunday. He did not pitch yesterday in that long game. Yes, it is Williamson.
Miguel Olivo has been called back, and the White Sox will have a pinch hitter. Looks like Rios will be pinch hitting here for the White Sox. One of the guys that they have brought up as the rosters have expanded. This is Armando Rios, was purchased from the Charlotte Knights by the White Sox, adding on to their roster. So he pinch hits here for the catcher Miguel Olivo. 5 games with the Charlotte Knights. He had a .323, 6 home runs, and 30 runs batted in. Falling behind 2-0.
It seems kind of strange there, unless he's just faking a bunt to take a pitch, because you would think if you were going to have the sacrifice on, they leave Olivo in the game, who's probably the better defensive catcher.
throws it. Still has time to recover and does. They retire Armando Rios, but he gets the job done moving the runner along to third as Joe Creedy gets to third with one down.
Sure does. He ran the count to 2-0. He gets a pitch that he can pull, and he does get the job done. The ground ball to the right side advances Creedy to third base. Now the Red Sox have to pull the infield in. Pretty good job there. That ball was sinking away from him, but still hooks it, pulls it to Walker, and gets the job done. Little bobble by Walker, but plenty of time to get the out at first. Alomar, very good bunter. Always have to be very careful when he's at the plate.
One out in the inning. The infield in all the way around. He's swinging and he fouls it down the left field line. Alomar doubled back in the first inning. Came around to score the only White Sox run so far tonight. Struck out in the second inning. Lined out to left in the fifth. But it's quickly 0-2 to Alomar. A nice night tonight from John Burkett, who worked 6 innings for the Red Sox, giving up only 3 hits and 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 4. And needs some help here from the bullpen if he is to grab his 10th win of the year. As the Red Sox holding on to a very narrow lead right now, 2-1. And he hits him with the pitch ahead, 0-2.
Now the White Sox are going to be bruised up tomorrow. They've been hit a number of times tonight by the Red Sox. 0-2 count. And Brandon Lyon just plucks Alomar. So he's going to get the hook, I believe, here by Grady Little.
4th hit batsman of the night.
You know, it's interesting, Don, how this breaks down. You're in a 2-1 ball game. You have some pitches unavailable to you, but you have others that you kind of lost some confidence in. And you have a guy coming off the DL who hasn't pitched in the big leagues for quite some time.
In a 1-run game.
In a 1-run game.
Pitching change from Chicago. Red Sox on top 2-1.
Back in Chicago, Red Sox have a 2-1 lead, but trouble here in the 7th. We'll close out the season in a great selection of Major League Baseball authentic caps, home and road jerseys, and everything else you need to enjoy the game. Shop RedSox.com for all things baseball.
Well, the Red Sox in a jam right now. Brandon Lyon done after a third of an inning, responsible for the 2 men on, and Scott Williamson on to face Carlos Lee. Swing and a miss. A foul tipped it into Veritek's mitt.
Williamson making his 16th appearance, the record of 0-1, his last coming Sunday against the Yankees, an inning in that ball game against New York. Speed at first base in Alomar. Difficult situation here for Williamson.
Joe Creedy at third, Alomar at first with 1 away here in the last half of the 7th inning. Lyon gave up a leadoff double to Joe Creedy. Armando Rios grounded out to get him to third. And Lyon ahead of Alomar. 0-2 hit him. On the ground to second base. Walker to second for 1. On to first base. A double play. Nicely done. A double play to get the Red Sox out of the jam and preserve the 1-run lead for the Red Sox on top 2-1. Back in Chicago, and Scott Williamson getting out of a major jam in the bottom half of the 7th inning, able to get the double play to get out of the inning unscathed. And it's on to the top of the 8th inning. Trot Nixon leading it off. The new White Sox catcher, Sandy Alomar Jr., taking over in behind the plate as Miguel Olivo was hit for by Armando Rios in the bottom of the 7th. Sandy Alomar Jr. now 37 years of age. First year in Major League Baseball for him was 1988 when he broke in with the Padres. Most of his career, of course, spent with the Cleveland Indians. As Jerry mentioned earlier, Roberto and Sandy reunited again here in Chicago. Nixon homered in the second, his 26th home run of the year. And grounded into a double play in the 5th inning. 1 for 2 in the game tonight. And he skies this one foul off the left side.
Well, Scott Williamson coming up big time for the Red Sox. The first and third situation, gets the ground ball on the slider. Red Sox get the double play and get out of big trouble.
Feel good for him, and it's kind of been a tough go for him since coming over here to the Red Sox at some different times, and he's had his struggles, but big spot here tonight. He's able to induce the double play to get out of last inning. John Nixon now with 26 home runs. His career best is 27. 27 in 2001 for the Red Sox. He is a home run away from tying his career high. Jones 3-2. Popped up left side. Third baseman Joe Creedy waiting for it to come on down. It does, and he makes the catch for the first out. We'll check in with Tom Caron. Tom?
Don, it's time for our Citizens Bank Not Your Typical Fan. A lot of kids back in New England going back to school tomorrow. Don Masood has the week off and a lot of time off. You retired after 35 years at Durfee High School in Fall River.
That's correct, and I'm certainly enjoying my first September in 53 years without having to go back to school. Here I am with my son-in-law Grant, my daughter-in-law, my daughter Allie, and we're just enjoying the Red Sox, and it's the first time I've been to see the Red Sox play other than at Yankee Stadium in Fenway, of course, so it's a big thrill for me.
53 years, you said, back to the days of being in school.
Oh, yes, back to the days of being in kindergarten to high school to college to working for the Fall River Public Schools.
Sipping on a beer, he doesn't seem to be missing school at all, guys. Our Citizens Bank Not Your Typical Fan.
All right, Tom, thanks very much.
Durfee High School. My wife graduated from Durfee High School.
Really?
I wonder if she had him as a teacher.
They have. Bill Miller grounds it left side. The shortstop Valentine on the move throws him out for out number 2. Malone has pitched very well here tonight, continues to do so in the later stages of this one with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Now retired 7 in a row. And still has given up just 2 hits all night tonight. 2 solo home runs. A walk in the 5th. The Red Sox have had just 3 base runners all night as they bat with 2 down here in the top of the 8th. Jason Varitek out after the first pitch, lifts it high in the air to shallow left center field. Carlos Lee is in and under, and he takes care of out number 3. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Cologne. On to the bottom of the 8th. It's 2-1 Boston. Back in Chicago with the Red Sox on top 2-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Scott Williamson back out there again after he was able to get the double play. Carlos Lee grounding into it to end last inning. As the White Sox left the potential tying run at third base. Tough part of the order to face him here in the bottom of the 8th. Frank Thomas, Maglio Ordonez, and Carl Everett. Anybody gets on, and Paul Konerko will have a chance. Thomas was hit by a pitch in the first inning, fly to right in the 3rd, and struck out swinging in the 6th. He was pretty ably handled tonight by John Burkett, as were many of the Chicago White Sox over the first 6 innings of the game. Burkett relinquishing just 3 hits and a run. There's a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to Thomas, upset with himself, I think.
He was upset with Joe Brinkman on the first call to put him in the hole 0-1, and then that looked like a pretty good pitch to Thomas.
Tipped into the catcher's mitt, strike 3. And Thomas upset as he walks away. He takes with him the first strikeout of the night for Scott Williamson.
Yeah, it has a few words, too, for Joe Brinkman behind home plate to get him in that 0-2 hole. Varitek wants the ball up high. It's going to end up in this area here. Thomas just gets a piece of it and right into the glove of Varitek. The foul ball held on by the Red Sox catcher. Thomas walks back, slams the bat, then spins around and has something to say to Joe Brinkman.
Second time Thomas has struck out tonight. Here's Ordonez. Takes a nasty pitch for a strike. Ordonez walked in the first inning. Since then has popped out, grounded out. Red Sox with right-handed action in their bullpen. 0-1 up and away.
Looks like Kim loosening in the bullpen again, who, by the way, is back in the closer role with the exception against the Yankees.
He's the closer unless the Red Sox play the Yankees, it sounds like. A 1-1 pitch. Foul tipped again into the catcher's mitt. Varitek holds on 1-2. One down here in the last half of the eighth. A big out to get Frank Thomas for the first out of the inning. Doesn't chase, and it evens up at 2-2. Yesterday in the ball game for the Red Sox and the Phillies. Not a lot of runs between the two clubs here tonight. A full count to Ordonez with Carl Everett waiting on deck. Real good pitching on both sides here tonight. The White Sox starter still in the game. Bartolo Colon's gone the first 8 innings. Broken bat grounded down the line at third. A fair ball and a long throw for Miller that gets there in time. Nice play by Bill Miller. And Maglio Ordonez is out number 2 of the inning. So 2 away, and it's time now for the game summary. Nixon with a solo home run. His 26th of the year. Kapler with a solo home run. The only hits off of Bartolo Colon tonight for Kapler was his 3rd. Roberto Alomar with a double and a run scored. Nice line from John Burkett tonight. 6 innings, 1 run, just 3 hits. A walk and 4 strikeouts, and Colon still in the game. 8 innings, giving up 2 runs on just 2 hits. Walked 1 and struck out 3. 2 down, last of the 8th. Here's Carl Everett. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Get credit for his 78th RBI of the season, and is responsible for the only run the White Sox have tonight. And the swing is in the dirt. 1-1. Williamson came on with just 1 out in the 7th inning, was able to get the double play. And that strikes out Frank Thomas to begin this inning. Gets Ordonez to ground out to 3rd. Time called at the plate. Everett backs out. Outfielder Trot Nixon very deep for the Red Sox out there and right. The outfield about straight away, but Nixon the deepest of the 3 outfielders. Strike call as Everett shaking his head down 1-2.
There have been quite a few calls in this inning that the White Sox hitters have not agreed with from Joe Brinkman. In particular, Frank Thomas to lead off the inning. I think that ball had the corner. I think Everett might have felt it was too high.
To Everett. That is too high that time, and it evens up at 2-2.
Get a wild one going down in Tampa. Seattle and Tampa tied up in the bottom of the 9th, 7-7.
Seattle had been ahead in that game, 7-5.
That thing's going back and forth all night.
Here in the 9th, 7-7. Sox on top here, 2-1. Little number in front of the plate. It's a fair ball. Varitek out quickly to get it. He throws out Carl Everett. Almost handcuffed Millar in the throw as he made the catch basket style to end the inning. And the Red Sox on top 2-1 at the end of 8. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back in Chicago, top of the 9th. Red Sox on top 2-1. And Gabe Kapler to lead it off here against Bartolo Colon back out there for the 9th. He has just gone up over 100 pitches in his outing here tonight. Does have 5 complete games on the season. And works in the 9th, trailing by a run. Red Sox have had just 3 base runners tonight. 2 solo home runs and a walk given up by Bartolo Colon, and that has been it. 3 strikeouts. Still bringing it that pitch at 93 miles per hour. He has 5 complete games coming into tonight's action, tied with Roy Halladay. Those 2 only behind Mulder, who had 9. Being placed in the DL. Kapler foul tips that into the catcher's mitt. Strike 3. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, by New England Ford dealers, by the Bone and Joint Center at Caritas St. Elizabeth, where you don't have to be an all-star to be treated like one, and by Magner's Cider. 1 down in the top of the 9th inning. Back up to the top of the Boston order. Johnny Damon is 0 for 3 tonight. Well, still getting it up there. Pretty good. 93 miles per hour as he works here in the 9th. He's now retired 9 Red Sox in a row. Strikeout of Kapler to begin the inning. The 4th strikeout of the night for Bartolo Colon. He's ahead of Damon 1-2. And strikes him out looking. Damon knew it. He takes with him the 5th strikeout for Bartolo Colon. Quickly 2 down in the 9th.
Well, stay tuned after the game for W.B. Mason's Extra Innings, New England's Red Sox postgame show with extra highlights, extra interviews, and extra analysis. Join Bob Rogers and Dennis Eckersley after the game. After the last inning, the action's just beginning.
Two down, 10 in a row, retired by Colon, and here's Todd Walker. That was the first one off the left side. The White Sox in the bottom of the 9th inning. They have Paul Konerko, Jose Valentin, and Joe Greedy scheduled to bat. It'll work out to be 6, 7, and 8 with Sandy Alomar to bat if anybody gets on. And Byung-Hyun Kim still up in the Boston bullpen. Kim does come on. What an outstanding job Scott Williamson did tonight.
Makes you wonder, you know, he's been so effective that you have to consider maybe keeping him in the ball game. He really hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. Got the big double play in the 7th, a 1-2-3-8. But Kim does continue to throw, and it looks like he will be in the game.
So 17 pitches.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you could get another inning out of him.
17 pitches, 12 for strikes. Walker jumps back out of the way, and the count now 2-1. You often wonder sometimes, a lot of times when you go to the closer in that type of situation where a guy is going so good, why take him out of that situation? And it's one of those situations here tonight, but it does appear Byung-Hyun Kim will be coming on. 2-2. And a full count to Todd Walker. Red Sox with action in their pen for the first time tonight. That's Damaso Marte. They're racking up some saves here for the White Sox. Tom Gordon out there as well. A payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled off. That gets a piece of Joe Brinkman, the home plate umpire. As Walker stays alive.
Well, hopefully Joe has all his protective gear on this evening. The next strike call will be a very high-pitched one.
Doesn't appear that he had the correct gear on you're referring to. The payoff pitch again. Walker hits it hard, but a foul ball just outside the bag at first. Nick DeMuro, the first base umpire, right on the line to make the call. Kapler struck out to begin the inning. Damon struck out for out number 2. Malone trying to strike out the side for the first time tonight in the 9th inning, no less. Chop right side. High hop for Alomar, who throws out Todd Walker. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox in the 9th. 11 in a row retired by Cologne. It's 2-1 Boston.
Bottom of the 9th, 2-1 Red Sox lead. Now it's time for the Sam Adams good decision of the game, and the good decision Gabe Kapler tonight in left field makes a fine defensive play earlier in the ball game tonight against Alomar, and then later on hits the home run against Bartolo Colon to give the Red Sox the lead. Sam Adams, when you're ready for a tasty brew, always a good decision.
Red Sox with the defensive change. Damian Jackson coming in at second base. And the new Boston pitcher, Byung-Hyun Kim.
11 saves in 14 opportunities. Kim got the win in the ball game yesterday in Philadelphia. His 6th of the season.
Paul Konerko leads it off and cranks it foul down by the tarp. Konerko with a base hit to left his last time up, 1 for 3 in the ball game. The two clubs have combined for only 6 hits in the game. The White Sox out hitting the Red Sox 4-2. For whatever reason, a lot of mud has been collecting under the pitcher's cleats tonight. John Burkett went to work in the bottom of the cleats, and Byung-Hyun Kim has already gone to the bottom of the cleats.
That is strange, Don. They've had a lot of rain here in Chicago prior to us getting here, but you would think that would all be covered. I think it's the type of mixture they have in that in the mound area and also in the infield.
And ready with the 0-1. Fouled off, and it's 0-2. Bartolo Colon has worked the first 9 innings tonight for the White Sox, and he retired the last 11 Red Sox that he faced. The crowd gave him a very nice hand as he came off at the end of that last inning, after he got Walker to ground out to second base to end the inning. In the air to left, down the line towards the corner and the pole, and it is foul.
Oh.
Just kept bending away, and it bends its way foul.
If you're gonna waste a pitch 0-2, you've got to waste it way outside. He throws the breaking ball here that stays almost out over the plate, and Konerko hooks it, but foul. There have been a couple of close calls tonight. Kim was waving that foul from the mound. Well, you got to throw that breaking ball 0-2. I mean, you got to throw it so far off the plate.
Again, the 0-2.
Like that. That's a little better.
John Williamson went an inning in 2/3, giving up no hits, no runs, no walks. He struck out 1. Of course, the big double play of the White Sox leaving the tying run at third base. Ends 1-2. Evens up the count at 2-2. After Konerko, Jose Valentin waits on deck for the White Sox, and then Joe Creedy expected in the inning. Valentin 2-2. Konerko fouls it off. Right at the plate, Varitek able to backhand it. Red Sox up at the top step of the dugout. A lot of the Red Sox at the top step of the dugout as well, looking on.
Yeah, they're looking at a big game too. Minnesota is winning today big. Kansas City is losing. The White Sox have that 2-game lead. The Red Sox, of course, Seattle, Tampa Bay, as far as I know, still tied up. And the Yankees off.
It's a 7-7 still in the ninth in Tampa Bay. Then gets the sign and goes to work with the 2-2. To left, Kapler is there, and he handles out number 1.
Now, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. You know, Don, I don't generally like, in these situations, pitches that pitch inside against power hitters, because that's where you can get beat with home runs. But that last pitch was very good because they're about 4 or 5 away. He got that fastball in Konerko and actually jammed him on that. It's dangerous working in a 1-run ball game. A lot of closers just like to stay away from those hitters. Here's the pitch that Kim throws to get the out. It's that fastball running back in, and it actually jams Konerko. That's after all those pitches away. And I'm not sure that was designed to go there. You saw Varitek, he was set up away.
Fouled off by Valentin, and he's down 0-2. He is 0 for his last 21 as Jose Valentin, and does not have a hit tonight. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning, allowing him to reach, but then a strikeout and a foul out for Valentin, who bats with 1 out. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And he fouls it off himself. Still 0-2 to Valentin with Joe Creedy waiting on deck.
I tell you, if you use an indication of Jason Varitek where he's setting up and expecting these pitches, Kim's not hitting those spots. A lot of closers feel, look, if you got to beat me with a home run, you're going to have to beat me to the opposite field with 1.
Ahead of Konerko, eventually got him. He's ahead of Valentin.
Stay away.
And he does. Ball 1, 1-2. Red Sox have got marvelous pitching tonight from John Burkett, who is the pitcher of record right now for the Red Sox. 6 innings, giving up just the 1 run on 3 hits. Popped up back at third. Miller ranging into foul ground. Makes the catch, 2 down in the 9th. Kim has the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it brings up Joe Creedy. As one of the 4 hits the White Sox have in the game. That's a double that he had in the 7th inning. It was Creedy who was left at third base when Williamson was able to get out of the 7th on a double play. He takes ball 1 inside. Ryan Daubach has come out on deck. He would bat for Sandy Alomar Jr. if we get that far, but again, they're 2 down in the inning. There's a strike, 1-1. Daubach's been used a little bit more than he had been when we first arrived here, but still just 154 at bats all season long for the White Sox.
And the Red Sox hope they don't see him tonight.
Creedy lifts it in the air to left field. Kapler has a beat on it as he moves to his left. He's under it, and he makes the catch. The Red Sox win today 2-1. The Red Sox in a wild game and a well-pitched game here tonight between John Burkett, Bartolo Colon, and the Red Sox get some fine relief tonight also from Williamson and Kim, and they hold on to win this one 2-1.
The Foxwoods chance play of the game, the double play in the 7th inning. Scott Williamson into the ball game, a 1st and 3rd situation, and gets the double play on the breaking ball. Gets the Red Sox out of big-time trouble. They go on to win it 2-1. The Foxwoods chance play of the game.
Jerry, this is just the 2nd time all season the Red Sox have been held to just 2 hits. The first was against Oakland August 11th in a complete game shutout. And that action by Mulder, or actually Hudson, I'm sorry, Hudson for the Oakland A's. It's happened here again tonight. But in this one, the Red Sox able to win it 2-1. Some fine pitching here tonight from the Red Sox, Burkett, Williamson, and Kim. And the Red Sox take the first game of this brief 2-game series with the White Sox. So a great game here tonight from Chicago. The Red Sox take the first one. For Jerry Remy, this is Don Orsillo saying so long from Chicago. Now it's time for W.B. Mason's Extra Innings with Bob Rogers and Dennis Eckersley.
Donnie, thanks very much. This was one of the best wins of the season, in my opinion. You get just 2 hits, and you make that turn into a 2-1 win. John Burkett was terrific.
John Burkett was terrific, and who was terrific was Williamson coming back, get that big double play ball, and Kim did the job in the 9th inning. But 2 hits. Cologne pitched a great game, too.
Certainly did. All right, the Red Sox win this one. We'll get to the phones, talk about the whole Manny Ramirez situation. And Brady Little made a decision, stood by his convictions on this one, and it pays off because the man in place of Manny Ramirez, Gabe Kapler, goes deep. W.B. Mason's Extra Innings is next.
The Red Sox win today 2-1. The Red